Hello guys, welcome back to the video. So in today's video, I'll share you how to use our premium IFVG indicator. So it is pretty simple guys. If you have been trading ICT, you probably know what to do and what not to do. Even if you don't know what is ICT, I will be sharing what are the settings that can be used and which settings I personally prefer for our premium indicator. First important thing that you need to know before using this indicator is to switching between time frames. So whenever there is a entry firing, it fires the entry in multiple time frames. So which are the best time frame that you can use first of all? So that is the first question that I'm going to answer. I would recommend anywhere from 30 seconds up to 5 minutes, and I would say the sweet spot is between 30 seconds to 2 minutes. So let me just share you some of the examples that happened. I'm not cherry picking it guys, this just happened our last trading day, that is on Friday. So I'm recording this on the weekend. So as you can see here, there is a short fired up. So let me just put the replay tool here. So as you can see here, there are multiple gaps here. What I want you to do is switch between time frames. Switch to 1 minute. So 1 minute also pretty much fires at the same place, and switch to 2 minute. So 3 minute. So as you can see here, in 3 minutes, there is no entry signal yet because it hasn't inversed this gap. So in this scenario, I would recommend going with the 30 second, because 30 second and 1 minute pretty much fires the signal at the same time. And as you can see here, there is the shot fired up in the 30 seconds right here, right at the close. And it has given you the break even, first TP and second TP level. And here are more in-depth details on where to place your stop loss and etc. I think it's not visible. I'll just switch it to dark theme so that it will be much more clearer for you guys. So yeah, this is the entry, and the R points is where you want to place your stop loss, that is 55 points. So somewhere around this level, and this is your break even area. This small green line is your first TP, and this green line is your second take profit. As you can see here, RR to TP is 2.26, and TP2 first TP, everything is shared with you in detail in this side panel. So let's just see how the trade worked out. So as you can see here, the first TP has been hit, and it tells you to move to break even. So once the first TP has been hit, even before hitting the first TP, it recommends you to move to break even, so that now we are completely risk free. Even in the worst case scenario, you will be in break even, that is no profit or no loss. And now it has hit your first TP. If you're willing, you can exit everything at first TP, or you can exit half and hold rest to second TP. I personally would recommend you to exit anywhere from 60 to 80% in your first TP and hold the rest to final TP. But it all comes to your personal preference. And as you can see here, your final TP has also been hit. So it is pretty simple guys. All you need to do is to put the indicator on your chart and switch between time frames to look for the best entry signal. If you have entered in the 1 minute time frame, this also worked out pretty well, but the R risk is much bigger. 81 points is your risk. So I personally would choose the 30 second in this scenario. So this is the key in using our indicator. Now let's just go to the settings, and I'll share you what are these settings and how you can use it. So pretty much everything is good in the default settings, but I would prefer some slight changes to a few settings here. This is my personal preference. You can definitely play with it and see what works the best for you guys. So these are the kill zones. It shows you the kill zones: Asia, London, New York, AM. And as you can see here, liquidity levels, the arm signal. So these are the main liquidity levels. I would keep it in the default settings, and enable 1 hour and 4 hour fractal low. In this, I would personally keep the fractal strength to 1. If you want much better swings in the 1 hour and 4 hour, you can switch it to 2 or 3. I am personally happy with 1, since we are just scalping and draw fractal levels. So these are some 1 hour and 4 hour liquidity levels which will be marked automatically. If you want the lines to be visible, you can turn this on. I would recommend keeping it in the default settings. Then the 50% level here, shade, everything else is the default settings. And the DOL play. So there are multiple models in our indicator. So this drawn liquidity is a type of entry which I personally seem to have much success in this time frame, 9:30 to 4 p.m., that is in the New York session. But if you want, you can definitely try it in the Asian and London session as well. And it will automatically detect ES when you're looking at the NQ chart. And so this is the cross market confirmation. So it also, since ES and NQ are correlated asset, it will automatically detect these. If you're looking for gold and you need to look for silver, then you can just switch it here. And this is the SMT divergence. And our indicator also hunts equalize and equals, relative equalize and equals. You can just leave it in the default settings. If I missed anything here, you can just see this. These are the settings that I personally use. So you can just pause the video and just copy these settings. So FVG boxes here, the transparency, and this is something I think the default setting is pretty different. So this is the merge gaps nearby. So what does it mean is when there are multiple gaps and we are looking for entry, if multiple gaps are very close to each other, like in this case 0.25 is very closer. If you want to merge gaps that are slightly farther away, which I personally don't recommend, you can just increase it, but I would recommend you to go with the 0.25 to 0.3 level. And maximum gaps in one cluster you can put it 2 or 3 at most. I think 2 works pretty good. And IFVG size sensitivity, what does this do is look for gaps that is cleaner for the current volatility. So I personally recommend you to put 0.5 here. I think the default would be 0.35. I recommend going with the 0.5 so that these are some nice gaps that tend to hold much better than the 0.35 gaps. So anything lesser than this gap is dimmed, so that you'll know which gaps are stronger, which are weaker. And this is something that most people might have not know, even the ones who got the indicator already. So this is called the pullback entry. So right now, as you can see, is you get your entry as soon as the candle closes below this gap. What is the pullback entry means is it waits for a pullback to happen so that your risk reduces, your RR increases. So that is the pullback entry. The con while using this pullback entry is sometimes when the momentum is so fast, you tend to miss some setups. So there is some advantage and disadvantage. You can definitely test it out and see which works better for your psychology. And you can see the settings here. You can just copy these and then bias window. So if you're just trading the New York AM session, you can just turn this on. So it will just fire your signals during this time frame from 9:30 to 11. Or if you're trading the London, you can switch to 2 to 5. Or if you want signals to be fired in every session, you can just turn this off and enable SL and TP management. So this is how the trades are being managed using these settings. So first TPRR is 1.05, minimum distance for liquidity, and all these settings are pretty good. Runner TPRR is 2.25, that is the second TP. Right now it says to exit at a nice liquidity level that is above 2.25 R. This is something that you can definitely play with. And this is the trade panel that you can switch it. Like if you need it at the top right, you can just switch it. It's pretty simple. And another important feature that we have is the position size calculator. So our indicator tells you how much positions you can enter for MNQ. Since we are retail traders, most people won't be trading NQ. I personally trade only MNQ because we have the opportunity to exit partials. So I personally risk around $300 to $350 per trade. So you can just use your desired risk here. So it will automatically calculate the position size for you. So point value for non NQ or ES symbol is, so I personally trade only NQ and ES, and for MES it is $5 per point value. So you can switch these here. If you're trading gold or anything else, you can switch it accordingly. So these are the settings. You can just take a screenshot of these settings and use it for yourself. And you don't have to use the same settings, guys. You can just play with some settings and see which works the best, which has the better probability for you. So that is it, guys. These are the settings that I personally prefer, and you don't have to use the same settings. You can try out, play it out with different settings here and see which works the best for you. Okay, if you have any doubts regarding it, feel free to comment down below. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment down and I'll be helping you with anything you need. So thank you, guys. See you in the next video.